Well, good evening. It's Friday evening. I just wanted to jump on for a moment because something inside of me wanted to really start looking at this mourning process. The process of loss, the process of shock, of get really wrapping ourselves mentally and emotionally around what's going on. Whether it's in our lives of our lives being like immediately impacted, or if it's the lives of others seeing this devastation and how it's affecting us as individuals, knowing that this goes on. For me personally, this is very hard for me to be watching. So I know it's even harder, obviously, because I've been there, to be losing so much. And one of the things that there are several things that were very key for me that I want to share in this video that made a lot of it made things a lot easier for me. Now it makes it easier for me. Had I known it then, it would have made it a lot easier, right? And so I want to share these to hopefully put it top of mind with others. Oh, by the way, my name is Leslie Peziak, and I'm really grateful that you chose to watch this video. One of the things that is really important when we're processing loss or experiencing, devastation in our personal lives is our brains are creative. Our minds are meant to create. That's the purpose that we're here, that our soul's here to create stuff, right? That's the reason why we have this life experience. But when we go through these times of upheaval, of devastation, we have to remember that and why it's really so important to, this is the reason I'm sharing this, because it's so important to follow that inner divine guidance, the soul guidance. Is so important because here's why. Because our minds are so creative that depending on where we are emotionally, our minds will take us in that direction, right? If we're fearful, our mind is going to start creating fear. If we're joyful, it will start creating joyful things. If it's, whatever it is, if we're angry, we're going to go down that path. This is what our minds do. This is why this is part of being human, right? And so earlier I talked about making certain that you find that peace and harmony within yourself before that balance, that state of balance, before really making any choices and decisions. We saw a lot of it with the Maui fires, right? A lot of people were being forced to make choices and decisions and they were making them out of fear, when understanding how the environment can really trigger and has a lot of impact. Our physical outer environments can have a lot of impact on us and the development of us, depending on the emotions we are feeling towards that specific environment or that specific situation. We can start internalizing and making choices and decisions based on wherever our brains take us. That's why we feel, right? And we think and feel and think and feel. But it's very, very important here when we're processing and we're trying to make sense of things, and we're processing our emotions, right? We're understanding who we are through our feelings, not our thoughts. It's what we're feeling, and work through them. And sometimes, we have to make, and as we work through the emotional, right, we're just focusing on the emotions, not anything exterior, just only what's going on within ourselves. This was so key for me, because when I went with what my head said, it was a mess. But when I went with what I felt emotionally to figure out, my new normal, this was my stage of new normal. When I went within emotionally and said, because I wanted to know who I was, and they asked me, Leslie, look inside, right? Look within, look within. Well, the only thing within that I knew of were my emotions, right? That the emotions are the one thing that's within. This is why we look within. So as others are processing this grieving, and they're looking within. I know that the exterior looks and is not ideal anymore, but you can't change that. But what you have control over is what's inside of you. What's going on inside of you. And this is an opportunity that you'll see hopefully down, a little later. I know sometimes it takes years, sometimes we don't ever see. But there is a reason, and it's a new beginning. And if people process this stuff correctly, it's going to be, they're just going to find an incredible amount of value. Does it make what's happening okay? Nothing will ever make that okay. Nothing will ever make the devastation, tragedy, events like this okay. Nothing will ever make it okay. Because we have to go through these things. We don't really know why. Well, we do. We figure that out later, but that's not the point. The whole point is, or the reason being is that we, right now, with this reset button, we are having an opportunity to live life the way we're meant to live it, from the inside out, through divine guidance, through the purpose and the meaning behind our lives, right? And first we have to grieve properly, and grieving properly clears the space, right? It will make certain that everything's clear. It will bring peace and harmony within ourselves when we process this. When we don't process it, when we don't understand our emotions, when we let our head rule, and we don't really work with ourselves inside and say, find that place of peace and harmony within us through these emotions, right? If we're feeling anger, we're feeling frustrated, we're feeling just pissed off and just mad as hell, right? Whatever you're feeling inside, there's a learning process about yourself as you grow up that emotional scale to your peace and harmony. And the way you grow up that scale to get to that peace and harmony is all done within you. It has nothing to do with the exterior. The exterior just stays. It just stays. Because what this time is, like any other time, you get to learn you. We get to learn who we are through these times. How is this making me better and not bitter? How can you take these moments and make yourself better and not bitter? And it's very humbling. But in the end, there's nothing that can replace the feeling of peace that's in the end. There's no anger, there's no frustration, there's no regret, there's no remorse. There's just peace. You make peace with where you are and with what happened so that you can move forward in your life, having those newfound skills within you of what you learned about you as you move forward in your life. And a lot of times, what this is you learn self-confidence, you learn self-esteem, you learn self-worth, you learn perhaps how to treat other people kinder, perhaps you learn how to humble yourself, perhaps it's just a lesson in personal development. It's in a lesson of soulful development, right? It's a lesson in growing our soul, why we're here to experience human life. And it's almost to a level of Christ-like consciousness. When we can hit that level of inner knowing and that peace, so that, we're moving forward in life, growing. It's almost like a Christ-like consciousness that we learn about ourselves. Because remember, Jesus set an example for us of how we're supposed to be living our lives. Not that we're going to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. But it set that precedence for us to follow as we're living from the inside out, as we learn how to live from the inside out. But sometimes it means asking for forgiveness. Sometimes it means giving forgiveness after we've worked through those emotional things, right? After we work through those emotions and we understand why we felt what we felt and what they mean to us. This is all an internal job. This is all done inside of you. But once you do this internal work and you know you, life looks different. You react to people differently. Do you still make mistakes? Yeah, we're always going to make mistakes because we're not Christ, but we are to become Christ-like in our lifetime, right? We're to live our life like he lived. And this is learning who we are, developing and creating who do we want to be? Where is the inner aspect of me? Where is my soul guiding me? You know, your soul's guiding you towards fulfilling your purpose. And it all comes from the inside. But you have to have that clear communication between you and your higher self so that you can navigate through this. Are we going to have challenges? Absolutely. You know, when I started this, I thought, oh, maybe I won't have challenges anymore. No, that's not the case. Oh, if I really start living from the inside out, life's going to get really much easier. It's going to be a lot easier. No. It actually does get easier because you know you're not alone. You have something guiding you, and you make less mistakes, and life becomes less painful. Your path becomes less painful. Does it mean you're not going to have pain along your path? No, because that's part of our life experience, right? We're going to suffer, and we're going to. But what this is all about, really, truly, right now, it's about learning how we are treating ourselves and each other, and how it's coming back to us, right? It's like, how are we treating others? Are we mocking them? Are we making fun of them? Are we ridiculing them? Are we belittling people and laughing about it and thinking that it's, laughing it off? How are we treating others? Are we treating them with kindness, respect, love, compassion? Are we cheering them on? And I'm not saying, oh, Leslie, life's not, what's the word I'm thinking of? Life's not all a bed of roses. No, it's not. But it doesn't have to be as hard as it has been, and that it is. And this is the cleansing that's happening. This is, God gave us an opportunity to really take a look and live from the inside. Do we have something to feel remorse about or whatever? We just have to understand whatever it is we're feeling, why we're feeling it, make amends with it, and perhaps that person, that's later down the road. That's later. Right now, we're going to just try to figure out, what we're feeling. We're going to process these emotions of this loss right now so that we understand ourselves, so we can get to a place of peace and harmony, so that we can take the next step. But first, we need to really, really step back, take some time, still ourselves, sit in stillness, and process these emotions. Because it's through our emotions in these times that really tell us and show us who we are and who other people are, and it sets the foundation, right? This is kind of a cleansing process. We learn how to get rid of things that aren't going to serve us, because if we hold on to them, we don't process these emotions, and we don't come to a place of peace and harmony with it. That's when we start building up all these false beliefs and all these negative behaviors, and we start getting really not happy. We're not happy. We're not as happy as we should be. Life isn't. Life doesn't feel as safe. It doesn't feel as nurturing. I don't know how better to explain it, but as soon as you process through all this stuff, it's going to get better. There's one final thing I want to say before I go, and it's this. As you're processing this time of grief, of loss, of such devastating loss, right? When you lose everything, there are going to be things from your past that are going to come up where you experienced things or situations, or you had an experience that is connected to one of the emotions or something to what's going on here, right? And that's unprocessed. Those are situations that haven't been processed correctly either. That's like having a piece of your puzzle in the wrong spot, or it's something that needs to be to be processed, right? It's something that we need, that's still work that needs to be done. And as soon as and when it comes up, this is an opportunity to do a holy cleansing of your entire life, if you so choose to. This is a time to really cleanse everything out of your life. When we have these situations of loss, like it is, and we have these things that come up in our lives, right? As you start to process these emotions, this is why I said that our brains, because we're going to be thinking about what we're feeling. We're going to feel and we're going to think about these feelings. And when we think about the feelings that we're feeling, they're going to bring up past experiences that could really throw a wrench into the system. But understand that those are going to happen. It took me like 3 years to figure that out. There was a stream of 3 years that I was like, what the hell, right? But this is what's going to happen. The only thing that I can tell you is this. Because there are certain emotions attached to the current loss that have stuff to do that you experienced in the past, right? It's going to bring that up. That's how our brains work. It's familiarizing. As soon as we latch onto something, it's going to start pulling everything to familiarize us and make us safe, right? Or bring us some sort of connection, or some sort of I can't even think of the word that I'm thinking about. Relatable, right? It's going to be relatable. And all you do with that is you just kind of take it and you just mold it like it's like clay, right? Look at it as a bundle of clay. They're just emotions. You're not experiencing that stuff anymore. They're past emotions that are still floating around. Think of it that way. They're past emotions that are still floating around. They haven't been molded into anything. So just imagine mashing it into these emotions that match it with this situation. Just the emotions. This is healing forward. Never look back. Healing forward, right? It's because these things are going to come up. Now you're going to heal it forward. And you're going to mash it. You're going to kind of blend it together. And then as you think and you process these thoughts and these emotions, and you really come to figure out, I'm feeling this way because of this action of mine, or this action, or this situation. What can I learn about me that's going to add value to me? Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When we ridicule somebody, or you're dishonest, you lie or you cheat somebody, right? Things will come back. It will bring some things back to you. And how you process that is admitting, and the feelings that we feel are guilt, right? You can feel guilt over cheating somebody, over cheating in a relationship, over dishonesty, whatever it is. We feel guilt. Really look inside. Why am I feeling guilty? Because we knew better, but we just didn't choose better. For whatever reason. And we figured out, why wasn't I honest with this? Why wasn't I honest to this person? Why couldn't I have been honest to this person? Well, let's take an affair. You can't be honest with your spouse if you were having an affair, but why was that even, this is how you start peeling back who you are and the emotions that you feel, and you understand your insecurities, you understand your strengths, you understand who you are. And this is in the Bible. It says, right? It said, Lord, give me the courage to change what I can, or the strength to change what I can, and the courage to accept what I can't. I can't even remember what it is, but something like that. But this is the process of personal growth. This is the process of growing your soul. This is how these emotions and these thoughts and the healing forward, these processes of what's going on here and now, but things are going to be brought up because of, for whatever reason, there's going to be something to this situation, your current situation, that's going to be bringing stuff up from the past, right? And it could be one, it could be many. It could be many situations. But you just take it, because think of it as floating little globs of clay, of emotional globs of clay that have not been processed correctly, so that you could grow and just mold it in to wherever you are right now. And Work that out. Make peace with it. Make peace with where you are. Now, does that mean that these situations aren't going to come up later? They could. They might not. You never know. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully they won't. But if they do, sometimes they'll come up just to remind you of how wonderful you are, how much you've grown. Ooh, I got through that. You know, when they come up later, you'll say, oh, I remember that. But your body's going to tell you. Your body's going to tell you where you are with that situation. It's going to tell you, do you need to process it? Do you need to mold it into something that's currently going on? Or do you need to celebrate? Do you need to celebrate it? But your body's going to tell you what it is that you need to do. This is an inside job. Nobody around you can do this for you. And this is what I spent 15 years trying to figure this stuff out. And I promise you, what I'm saying is true. And this is where current therapy, you blame one or you take responsibility, right? The process that I'm explaining, it doesn't leave anybody responsible. It gives you wisdom and growth. And then you change. Because when you change your behaviors, then going forward, it changes your interactions with others. That's how this all works. And right now, we're all just in the process of cleaning up a lot of stuff that we just didn't really understand how to deal with. So we need to remember to be very kind and gentle with each other. And there's going to be a lot of forgiving. There's going to be a lot of grace. There needs to be a lot of compassion, unconditional love, limitless compassion as we go through this time. But in the end, it's the most beautiful thing you will ever experience. I promise. I promise you. And I don't make a lot of promises to anybody. But this is one promise that I will make, that I will stand firm. That if you do if you take your responsibility, I will love to teach you how. To show you where those tools are within you. So that you don't need anybody else's help but you. That nothing is more important and comes before you, because this life is for you, about you, and because of you. Does that mean you be selfish and no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you are here to grow your soul through your life experience and to leave here making it a better place, but leaving this earth pure of heart and soul. Pure of heart and soul. And we come here to make changes to better humanity and the life that people live, right? That means we change the way generations have existed, how generational tendencies have been carried on, how negative behaviors like spouse abuse and child abuse and all kinds of detrimental behaviors carry on from one generation to the other. Beliefs. Beliefs. Oprah once said that her nanny or her grandmother said, you better learn how to become a maid or learn to do laundry or something so you can get a good white family or whatever. And Oprah said, no, Nana, that's not me. Because she knew at a very young age. She was 5, I think. I think I remember her being 5. She changed. She knew at a young age. And from there on, she's done a lot of good in the world. She's done a lot of good. But mostly she's done that good in herself because she broke those chains not only for herself and her family, but she broke them for her communities, for her race, for her the women, her sex, for other women. She did it for she was an inspiration for whomever found themselves stuck in something that she showed them a way out of. She was their mentor. And while not everybody likes everything that everybody does, find something that you do like about an aspect of somebody and just appreciate that. And if there's something that you're not resonating with, let it go. Because there's not enough space in here. There's just not enough inner space for you to hold on to things that do not serve you. And that, my friend, is something that doesn't serve you. I hope this video really does help you. I really truly hope these videos are going to reach the people that need them to reach, because this is it's tough. It is tough, but it's not as hard. It doesn't have to be as hard.